สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today I'm going to go back to the basics and show you how to make a Thai style chicken stock. And I say Thai style because that does make a difference. So say you buy chicken stock and it's a Western brand, the kind of aromatics and flavor that they have will be different and it may not work, especially in dishes where the stock is a main ingredient like a Thai chicken noodle soup. And yes, that recipe is coming, so stay tuned. So today I'll show you how you can make your own Thai style stock at home and you can use it anywhere I call for chicken stock, and it's super easy. As you see, what I do is I make a whole bunch, I keep them in Ziploc bags in the freezer, and I just pull it out whenever I need it, and I don't have to make it very often at all. So let's get started. So in this pot here, I've got some chicken bones. Now I buy chicken bones from a Chinese butcher. If you can't find chicken bones at your butcher, what you can do is just collect chicken bones as you use chicken. So buy bone-in chicken, debone it, just save the bones in the freezer until you've got enough, right? Now, I have rinsed the bones and I've also cut off any big chunks of fat because that'll just make my skimming job a little easier at the end. So I'm going to add some water to this and I'm starting with cold water and I want to completely cover the chicken. So I'm going to turn this on and at this point I'm just going to crank it on high because I just need it to come to a simmer. Once it's simmering, I'm going to turn the heat down. I want to maintain a gentle simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. Alright, so now that your house is starting to smell like chicken soup, you can see that there's a lot of scum and fat and foam and crud floating to the top. That is your cue to go in with a fine mesh skimmer, such as this one. And what I love about this skimmer is that it's actually fine enough that it also scoops up the fat. And this is actually one of my top 5 favorite tools in the kitchen. And if you want to know what the other 4 are, you can check out the video where I ranked my favorite top 5 small tools in the kitchen. I'll put the link in the description below. So now that it looks cleaner, we're going to add the aromatics. And the aromatics are basically vegetables and herbs that's going to help add flavor, subtle flavor to the stock. So what I've got here is some garlic, some cilantro roots. Now, if you don't have cilantro roots, you can use the stems instead. I've also got some daikon, which is a classic vegetable for stocks in Thailand. I sometimes don't put it in because when you buy daikon at the store, it's like this massive thing and then I don't know what to do with the rest of it. I often add onions instead of daikon. Today I'm just going to add both just because I have it. Onion is not, however, commonly added in Thai stocks, but I find that it doesn't add too much of a flavor, but it does add a natural sweetness, which I really like. I've got some peppercorns. So this is white peppercorns that I've just smashed until they're broken in my mortar and pestle. Adds a little heat. And this is the tops of lemongrass. So whenever you cook with lemongrass, I say this all the time, just use the bottom half because the top doesn't have much flavor. Well, I freeze the top and I save them for stocks because it adds a subtle, fresh aroma without making this taste like a lemongrass soup, right? So I always have a bag of them in my freezer. So now that my stock is cleaner, I'm going to add all my vegetables all at once without splashing myself with hot soup. Hopefully. Always a challenge. Okay, and this is gonna go for another hour or 45 minutes. As long as you get the total amount of time to about 1 hour, 45 minutes to 2 hours, you're good to go. And that's pretty much it. How easy is that? Oh, that smell is so comforting. It's like the smell of chicken soup. And your stock is pretty much done. Now at this point, you can strain this whole thing through a colander, or if you have one of these big spiders, you can just fish everything out. There's actually quite a bit of meat still on the chicken, so sometimes I'll go through and I'll pick out the meat. The meat will be totally bland, but I'll throw it into like, I don't know, fried rice or something that's gonna get seasoned again if you don't wanna waste all that meat. Now, this is an oversized skimmer, which is the first time I'm using it. Oh, look at that. Now, in terms of storage, chicken stock freezes really well, and I really recommend you freeze it in a Ziploc freezer bag, but make sure you don't overfill it. Just add it so when it lays flat, it's about, half an inch thick. It'll make it so much easier for you to use, and it'll be quicker to thaw. And that is it. Now you've got beautiful chicken stock, which you can use for so many different recipes. And for some recipe ideas of what you can use the stock for, I'll put links to videos in the description box below. Also, stay tuned for my chicken noodle soup episode. That's what I'm going to use this batch for. And the full recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. And when you make it, send me a photo of your chicken stock. And you can send that on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.